Hello and welcome to the Sydney Cricket Ground for the final of the Winfield Cup between Eastern Suburbs and Canberra. The winning team today will go on to challenge Manly in the 1987 Grand Final. East coming to this clash after going down narrowly to Manly last Sunday. And their full team today is Worth, Morris, Smith, Melrose, Lydon, Hall, Spinner, Truella, Gilmeister, McGowan the captain, Rampling, Simpkins and Shepherd. The Canberra Raiders came to town last weekend and put an end to South Sydney's hopes with a massive 46 points to 12 victory. Their full team rundown today is Belcher, Kinner, Meninga in 21, Jackson, Corkery, O'Sullivan, Henjack at half in 3, Lance, captain, Coyne, Gilbert, Backo, Steve Walters and Todd. Mick Stone is the man in charge for this final clash between Eastern Suburbs and Canberra. Well, both teams on the park now ready for the contest, and a contest of some dimensions it'll be. Mick Stone's got them off. Eastern Suburbs are defending the southern end. They're receiving the ball, running with a very strong wind. How strong is the wind, David? It is a very strong breeze. It has blown up even stronger in the last 20 or 30 minutes. Hugh McGowan won the toss, as you mentioned, elected to run with it. Interesting point, Rex. Alan Jones, the Australian rugby coach, has been in the Eastern Suburbs dressing room for the last 20 minutes as a motivational exercise. Let's see what effect that'll have on the Roosters in the opening minutes. OK, Eastern Suburbs hemmed into their quarter at the moment. The ball goes from Gilmeister back, a pretty ordinary pass back to Worth. He takes it on the first bounce, gets a towering kick downfield. The breeze is going to have some effect. Belcher has to take it on the first bounce, drops it, and now he's under pressure right back in his own quarter. Corkery's coming to take some of the load off the forwards there and makes a good break. He's gone right through the middle. That's a good run from Corkery. Still going. About 15 or 16 metres he travelled. Onto Dean Lance. Lance, oh, very heavily back slammed. Shepherd was in there early and got underneath him. Sam Backo, who's everybody's favourite the last couple of weeks. Henjack out to O'Sullivan, the kick downfield. It's not going to find touch. It'll hem Worth into the quarter. Well, he's made a good break and beaten the first defender. Got out to within about 7 metres of the quarter line. Melrose at dummy half. Runs sideways, taken out of it there by Brent Todd. Gilmeister onto Shepherd. Driven sideways in the tackle. He's one of those that needs to stand deep and come straight ahead. Truella just beyond the quarter line. And a long pass back to Melrose, who kicks straight down the middle of the field. Oh, Corkery's made a bit of a blunder. It's going to go close to going out on the quarter line. Belcher takes it. He's evaded one defender, two. Now that's a good run from Belcher. Came away with about a 15-metre run. Kinner goes sideways. Upended strongly and heavily. Simpkins and Gilmeister there. And I don't think he's terribly well landed on his head. He's gone down on his knee. He'll come back to that. 10 metres inside Canberra's half. Brent Todd only able to go a couple of metres before he was buried. There's Backo tearing his way forward. It's a good sturdy break. 10 metres beyond the halfway line. The signal goes up for last tackle, out to Henjack. The kick hard. Lydon knocks it down, feels it again. It was knocked backwards.
So there's problems already for Eastern Suburbs, an extremely strong breeze at their backs, but on the 2 occasions that they've kicked, Canberra have had no trouble whatsoever in bringing the ball back in a set of 4 or 6 tackles, some 40 or 50 metres. So, and Eastern Suburbs again standing too flat, and the pressure really on now.
Canberra in possession off an Eastern Suburbs error. Out it comes to Todd. Todd's going straight and hard, gets to within about 14 or 15 metres of the line. Walters at dummy half. They're going to try the blind side. Ashley Gilbert out to Mal Meninga. He's powering forward, still going. Gets to within about 9 metres before he's put down. Walters, Henjack, O'Sullivan, Jackson onto Belcher, runs into a player, gets ricocheted off him, came out again. About 3 metres out from the quarter, he's tackled. O'Sullivan elects to go the blind side again. Onto Jackson, the little rubber kick through. This could be interesting. Oh, Worth's done a magic job and fielded that one only about 7 metres out from his line. Kinner, rather Corkery was there to to attempt to take that. It just didn't bounce right for him. Eastern Suburbs only about 7 metres out from their line. Slippery Morris comes away with a run. Keeps going back up the blind side. Smith threw the dummy from dummy half and went another few metres. Well, Canberra laying on plenty of pressure early on. Here's McGann. He gets out to the quarter. And there's a penalty going to be awarded to Eastern Suburbs. Failure to get away from Hugh McGann. And there's the man, Walters, Steve Walters, the hooker who was laid off. Now Smith's going to take the kick. He's got a pretty decent sort of a kick. He goes for a very low trajectory one. That one makes a gain of about 18 or 20 metres. Tap kick from Simpkins. On a rampling, manages to get beyond the halfway line. Truella right through the middle of the ruck, still going. Busted them wide open, got it away to Spinner. Spinner's in for a try. It's a great run from Truella, and very, very good backing up on the outside there. See that again. Spinner was there when it was needed. A very good try indeed.
And the first occasion that Eastern Suburbs decided to show a little bit of depth in their running. They all got in each other's way there, the Canberra defence. Laurie Spina, good to see the support there for Eastern Suburbs. The forwards so far in these opening minutes haven't been supporting or backing up enough the man in possession of the ball. But Truella, arguably the most consistent forward for Eastern Suburbs right throughout the semi-final series so far. A good bust and great support. There was support outside and inside. Luckily it went to the man that really had all the pace to take it on, Laurie Spina. This is the start that Eastern Suburbs have been searching for. They've got a guard at their backs in these first 40 minutes, and they really do need to go in at half-time, leading by 10 or 12 points.
Yes, the great misfortune there for Canberra. They had two men to tackle Truella. Both of them got in each other's way and fell off. And he went straight through and heard the call from Spina, was able to get the pass away. Spina sprinted away the last 20 metres. A very comfortable try. That's caused problems for Eastern Suburbs. Smith to take this kick from only 8 metres out and about 4 metres off centre. Very easy. He'll be hoping that they score a ball underneath the posts. Eastern Suburbs 6, Canberra 0. Well, that's an early break for Eastern Suburbs. We've only had about 7.5 minutes of play. Now the kick-off again from Belcher. You see the strength of the wind, the ball going probably 10 or 15 metres earlier than it would otherwise, hanging right up in the air. Lance the tackler on that occasion. Simpkins goes to run from dummy half, finds Shepherd. Got himself mobile for about a 7-metre gain. Back to Melrose, left foots it downfield. This should go to Belcher fairly comfortably. Well, Keener's going to take it now. And he gets another serve too. A good, strong defence coming in on him each time he's tried to run the ball. Jackson back to Belcher with a big looping pass. Not a Todd. O'Sullivan was out there. He's stopped in his tracks. Walters, Jackson, out to Corkery. The referee's called it forward. The referee's called that one forward. See it again.
So Canberra still searching out wide. This is where their strengths are, and this is where they nearly caught Eastern Suburbs napping. Well, the referee was in a good position to see it.
A Canberra player down on the broad of his back at the moment as Eastern Suburbs come up with a scrum win. Yeah, it looks to me like Brett Todd, the front row forward, receiving some treatment there. He's going to get mixed up right in the play here at the moment, but there's a loose ball gone out to Henjek, then out to Corkery, comes inside his man, steps, and gets back to the halfway line. Canberra now have to show us there that they've come of age, that they can do this stuff in the big time. Henjek, O'Sullivan, Jackson. Oh, he had Meninga coming back on the inside then. Couldn't find him with a pass though. O'Sullivan. Very quick acceleration this little fella's got. the only player in the Canberra side to be with the club at the start of their career in First Division. Oh, back to the quarter they come. Walters. O'Sullivan gets a high bomb. Worth stands his ground. It was knocked on. Eastern Suburbs in possession. Certain amount of pressure there coming through.
And the ball nearly coming down sweet here for Henjak. He just couldn't control it or keep his feet. So plenty of problems for Canberra now, David.
Brett Todd is the player limping off towards the touchline at the moment. It's the first time in about 8 weeks that they've had to replace anyone through any major injury. It appears that it's a left ankle, and let's hope for his sake that, yes, it appears that he is coming off the ground. Graham?
Well, we'll have to get a replacement on there shortly, so give us some advice when that happens, will you, David?
I will do that.
Okay, Eastern Suburbs in possession, still inside their quarter. Gilmeister away to McGahn, finding some room up the blind side. And Smith's had the ball stolen from him. I think it looked like Keener. Yes, Regan's the replacement coming on. O'Sullivan out there. He's propped and came back on the inside, cutting himself off from support. Walters runs from dummy half, out to Henjak. Henjak's half through the gap. Regan will need to keep his wits about him. He's a player that can get a little bit overexcited, and he's just prone to concede penalties. Coyne tackled about 18 metres out from the Eastern Suburbs line. Walters onto Regan now. First touch of the football. Goes forward. He gets to within 10 metres of the line. Gets to his feet, plays at Walters. O'Sullivan, cut out pass to Meninga. Meninga gets it away there nicely to Belcher. Belcher to O'Sullivan. The ball's dropped, kicked through, and it's multiple knock-ons. Now Chris Kinner's in some trouble down here at the moment. He's the player.
Well, he got decked earlier, as you remember, landed on his neck. I just saw the trainer signal to the grandstand for 10 minutes in the head bin, so he'll be coming off. He looks a bit groggy too.
Well, that'll be Carey, I would imagine, come on for him, but we shall see. Eastern Suburbs, after 12 minutes, lead 6 points to 0. Gilmeister, good pass to McGahn. McGahn out to Smith. Props comes back at the inside, runs into a hornet's nest. 3 metres out from his quarter. Chuella already put his imprint on the game with a great bust for the first try to Laurie Spina. Slippery Morris. Threatening up the blind side. Back to Melrose, a towering kick downfield. Belcher takes it well, 10 metres outside his quarter. Oh, he's had the ball stolen from him. It's gone out there to Brendan Hall, and he's knocked on about 4 times. It's ridiculous. Gee whiz, there was an opportunity then. Good quick hands from the broken play there would have seen Eastern Suburbs way upfield, but Brendan Hall just couldn't handle the football. Well, Canberra come up with the scrum wing. Henjak runs round the blind side of the scrum. Away from the blind side to the open.
And Phil Carey on, number 14.
Yes, Carey's made a place on the field in place of Kinner, who's come off with a head bin. Walters to Coyne. Now there's a penalty been awarded against Eastern Suburbs for all being inside the 5 yards. I was just cogitating to myself how long the referee would be before he sprung Eastern Suburbs, standing up inside the ruck. Jackson's kick is a good one. Takes play to within 3 metres of the quarter line. Well, Canberra have got themselves into a little bit of trouble now with Mal Meninga on there. It's apparent that he's not going to last the distance. So already they've used up one replacement with him. And there are 2 others there already at the moment. Brent Todd and Chris Kinner come from the field. I don't think Todd will be back. Sam Bacco makes a hard intrusion. Walters, indecision. Sullivan steps inside Henjak. Or stepped inside and tried to set Henjak up, but he couldn't do it. Walters, that pass was very close to being forward. Last tackle. Walters runs from dummy half, gets it away there beautifully to Ashley Gilbert. He's going to score beside the post. Oh, the Eastern Suburbs defence should be shot for that one. That is really a try from nothing. He wasn't really even in a position to take the football, but he came when the opportunity presented itself. There he was, bang on. See it again.
On the State Bank replay, indecision. This was the last tackle from both sides. They were setting themselves for the kick. They didn't position themselves properly. Eastern Suburbs went to sleep, stood back and just stood around watching and waiting to see what was going to occur. They were all hanging back here. 4 and 5 Eastern Suburbs players in. Nobody was moving up in a line to commit themselves to the defence. He easily did Trevor Gilmeister. That's a bad miss for him there. And a great comeback by Canberra. This try is worth a lot of points. Forget about the 4. Eastern Suburbs are the one that are playing with the gale at their backs. A great reply by Canberra to get back, but poor defence from Eastern Suburbs.
Well, Gilmeister and Rampling are the two players that Ashley Gilbert went in between there. That was a shameful performance, and Arthur Beetson will not be very happy with his forwards over that. Yes, I guess that looks like Wayne Bennett down there, the coach, or one of the two coaches, the Canberra side. He's coming up to talk to the trainer. As the kick is taken by Belcher, and it's successful. So the scores then, after 16 minutes play, 6-all. Well, a severely chastened Eastern Suburbs, who've done marvellously well to get on the board after 7 minutes, have had their backside smacked. Now, do I see Alan Jones going out on the field there behind you, David?
He's coming down to have a chat, actually. The man that was in the Eastern Suburbs dressing room. And he's joining us right now. Rex, Alan, you were in the Eastern Suburbs dressing room before half-time, before the kick-off. What was the role of Alan Jones?
Well, Arthur asked me to come down and have a few things to say, and I just did as I was asked, that was all.
Can't give any more than that away?
Well, I think that he'd be very disappointed with the commitment here. I mean, that was a very soft try, and we've missed a lot of tackles early on in the first phase of the game. So if they're not going to get the line-up together, then Canberra are going to score some trouble. I think Arthur would be pretty annoyed about the defence early on.
Alan, it was a great start by Eastern Suburbs, though.
Yes, a good try, but the defence has been a bit shoddy. The first-up tackles are not being made, and Canberra have the ability to maintain continuity out of the tackle, and that's going to be very dangerous, I think, unless East can make the first tackle stick.
And finally, down to the Melbourne Cricket Ground next week, I believe, in a similar run.
I've come from there this morning. I've been down there this morning with Carlton. I left at 6 o'clock this morning, so it's a bit of a day.
Well, enjoy the rest and enjoy this final. Alan, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, David.
Alan Jones there, the doyen of 2UE, and also a man who I'm told is making so much money he has to dig holes in the backyard to put it in tins. But we shall see. Now here's Eastern Suburbs, only about 30 metres out now, with Rampling going up the blind side. That's not a bad intrusion. Melrose is at dummy half, still going out the blind side to McGahn, switches back to Spina, onto Hall. Hall goes straight and through, and there's Sam Bacco going to be talked to here. I think he possibly is. It looked like, to me, that it was a high tackle, but we shall see.
Well, we certainly did see it was high above the shoulder, straight around the neck, and no doubting that this is the right decision and a chance for Eastern Suburbs to add to their scoreline.
Well, Sam Bacco's been chastised. There will be a penalty awarded against him. Yes, let's have a look at these lower grade results, because it's pretty critical what they've done. In the under-23, South Sydney defeated Parramatta 18-12. There were several Parramatta players sent off in that match. Manly reserve grade came home with a wet sail to defeat Parramatta, Manly 20, Parramatta 6. So in the under-23s next week, it'll be Souths against Saints. In the reserve grade, it'll be Penrith against Manly. And Manly are waiting, and their team is sitting here watching them from the Wormel Brothers box. They'll be waiting to see exactly who they're playing next week. Well, there, speak of the devil. Speak of the devil, there's a bunch of Manly players. There's Crusher Creel, Lyons, Williams, Randall. I wish we still had him for his defence. He's a great, was a great tackler. But all in all, the Manly side are there just watching the performance of these two teams.
Chris Kenner coming back onto the touchline. He still looks very, very stiff in that neck department. As I mentioned, he was dumped very, very heavily on the neck and shoulder area. He's a little bit restricted, but fortunately for Canberra, coming back on the field.
Well, Kenner will come back in time to get involved after this kick at goal. just outside the quarter and about 4 metres off centre. Well, the ball's been blown off the mound again. There is a contingency in the rules that if the breeze is too strong, a player can hold the ball. But I don't know whether that will eventuate in this situation. Arthur Beetson sitting there pondering. I would suggest pondering about the defence or lack of it during the last Canberra try. Don Furner too sitting up there having quite a verbose day, having plenty to say. He's kicked the goal, so no problems with that one. So Eastern Suburbs lead by 8 points to 6 as we're coming towards the halfway mark in this first half. Belcher drove it deep and hard. It's gone straight there to Lydon, who's got both knees strapped up. Out to Hall. Hall runs crossfield. Walters tries to upend him, but he's a strong young man. Wouldn't be upended. McGahn on a rampling.
These are the early tackles where I'd be setting myself now to be kicking. This breeze that we keep on mentioning is exceptionally strong. Eastern Suburbs keen to play with the ball. You can get yourselves into trouble here losing it, as they lost it on one situation. They tend to be waiting on the 5th or 6th tackle to set themselves. That's when Canberra are at their best. We've got the winger and fullback back already waiting for the kick.
Oh, it's a beautiful kick from Melrose. It's gone downfield. Found touch only about 2 metres out from the line. Gee whiz, that's a sweet kick. Absolutely beautiful. And Kinner really can't be blamed for anything there. It was no fault of the wing three-quarter. The scrum feed by Hanjack. Lock forward, Chuella seemed to be pretty smartly out of the scrum there. I thought before the ball, the referee didn't see it that way. Meninga running straight and true. Now Corkery goes from dummy half. He made one very good inroad from an early disaster from Belcher. Terry Regan coming away with a strong burst. Back to Mal Meninga. Well, that's straight to Worth. That's not to be done too often. Now Melrose runs from dummy half. Oh, he's got some pace too. He's a little bit short of confidence with his running. He's a lot faster than a lot of people think, Tony Melrose. I've seen him score some very good tries. Brendan Hall very close to being through. Wisely didn't give the pass. Simpkins had overrun him. Melrose, Morris, and there's another penalty. It's against Dean Lance on this occasion. Spina feinted to take a quick tap. It would have only been for fun because it was well and truly within kicking range. This is almost an identical kick to the last one for David Smith. He's had 2 from 2. It's only about 3 metres shorter. Mal Meninga there looking solid, shall we say. He really does look just a little bit overweight, as to be expected. Smith a metre inside the quarter. And 5 metres to the left of dead centre. Be aiming for the right-hand upright, one would think. Well, he's missed it. That's the strength of the breeze. So the score remains Eastern Suburbs 8, Canberra 6, and that is a dead set let-off for Canberra. Meninga takes the kick, drives it along the ground. McGahn will field it, just his own side of halfway. Lance was there effectively to tackle him. Hall. Chuella again. Just a couple of metres beyond the halfway line. Simpkins goes for a sprint. Gets a pass away as he was falling to Rampling. Chuella, Morris, spinner, back on the inside. Fast look forward there. The pass to Smith. Simpkins, Chuella. Last tackle coming up. McGann at dummy half. Melrose kicks downfield. This could be too big. Oh, it's bounced back at its end. Oh, spare me days, it's a try. You wouldn't believe it. It's an astonishing try, a try that will shock you.
Well, it's no try. The touch judge has been called in by Mick Stone. Gary Belcher was screaming at the touch judge and the referee, claiming that the ball landed on the chalk. See it for yourself. It certainly did. So, belatedly, no touch judge was waving, and Gary Belcher had to call them into play.
Well, that would have been an astonishment. The ball broke backwards, directly backwards, and there's been a knock-on from dummy half here, or from the tap restart. So it'll be an Eastern Suburbs feed, and Canberra are still under pressure. Belcher will have nightmares about that ball there. Eastern Suburbs possession. Gives it to Gary Worth, and Worth puts it down. It's a pat on the back from Hall, but gee, you don't really need a pat on the back for dropping a sitter like that.
Well, plenty of mistakes from both sides, and I think Gary Belcher's also got to realise that he only had to play to the rules to cover that situation and accept the bomb himself. It would have been a restart on the quarter line. So whilst the touch judge was certainly incorrect there, Gary should have played to the whistle himself.
Ashley Gilbert comes around the side of the ruck. Now Sam Bacco gets to the halfway line. Moving it out to Jackson. Jackson back inside to Meninga. Runs into one of his own players. Knocks him base over apex. Jackson it was. Oh, Jackson's had a kick charge down. It's taken by Kinner. It's 6 to go. According to the referee, McGann got up limping. They're just over the halfway line. Lance. Regan. Lance again. O'Sullivan. Meninga. Showed the ball to Jackson, who was coming around him, but took it himself. The tackle. And Jack, a little kick through. Well, is he going to construe that as a knock-on? No, he's not, but I've seen him rule those as knock-ons. Only last week we had an absolute flurry of those.
Well, I had no doubt that that was a knock-on from Gary Worth. The crowd certainly reacted to it. Should have been a scrum, and it should have been a feed to Canberra.
Well, Eastern Suburbs having their share of luck at the moment. On to Shepherd, running slightly sideways. Gets a pass. No, he doesn't. He goes on his own. Gets a pass away. It's gone along the ground to Hall. He rides the tackle to the halfway line. That was Bacco all over him. Rampling. Back to Spina. Into Melrose. Apparently had the ball stripped from him, but the referee says in so doing it was knocked on.
Well, handling errors causing all sorts of problems for Eastern Suburbs. They're really starting to run out of time now. Only 13 minutes in this first half, and that advantage slipping away of that breeze in this first half.
Now, why would the referee do that? Wave the Eastern Suburbs players back onside because the ball was held in the Canberra scrum. That should have been a penalty awarded. He's got no right to do that. On to Regan. 9 metres into Eastern Suburbs half. Walters, Coyne. Well, he's giving a penalty now against them. But he's got a referee has got no right to warn players. He must administer the laws. If a player's offside, he's got to penalise him. Simple as that. Jackson to take the kick for touch. 12.5 minutes to go. 8 points to 6 Eastern Suburbs. Good opportunity for Canberra to come back with some pressure. On to Regan. About a 3 or 4 metre gain. On to Bacco, tearing his way forward. and gets to the 10-metre line. We've got plenty on the blind side here. Back on the inside, look forward. The referee's going to go with it. He was probably unsighted on that occasion. Walters, Henjak, Meninga, beautifully to Belcher, back into Meninga. Meninga surges for the line, and he scored a try. Mal Meninga scored a try for Canberra. The crowd love it, the players love it. It's an astonishing try. It took a man of his bulk and strength to do it. See it again.
Well, last weekend, Eastern Suburbs trademark was their defence against Manly. Not so on this occasion. A short blindside. East had a ton of players. All you can see here is the tricolours all over the screen, but they found their way through. Trevor Gilmeister was out on the other side of the ruck, calling out for players to come out. He felt they were short on that side. Look at this. There's 6, 7 Eastern Suburbs players in shot, but nobody back up on the inside here, and too easy for the big man Mal Meninga to crash back over. Canberra really starting to wear Eastern Suburbs down. Their defence is just not full. They've got no confidence in it whatsoever. Back inside goes the football, and a lack of defence from Eastern Suburbs. If Arthur Beetson wasn't smiling before, well, he's well and truly a worried man right now.
And I reckon that Truella will wake up with the greatest headache. He's still being treated there. Meninga took him on. Truella, to his credit, stood his ground and tried to tackle the big fella, and he's only just now recovered. And he is in Disneyland at the moment. He was knocked yards back out of the way there by a giant of a man coming hard and strong. Now Belcher, 1 from 1. No success with that one. So the score now, with 10 minutes to go to half-time, Canberra 10, Eastern Suburbs 8. Yes, David, we've got a replacement.
Yes, Trevor Patterson's the man warming up at the touchline. It appears that David Trevella very heavily concussed, so probably 10 minutes in the head bin. Trevor Patterson in jersey number 50 with that familiar headgear coming on the field for the Roosters.
Yes, well, I picked that with that tackle that he tried to attempt on Meninga there. It was no way he was going to stop him. Anyway, we're back with Canberra now, trying to relieve the tension of being near their own line. Regan comes away with it. Walters on a coin. Walters again at dummy half. On to Sam Backo. Big Sam's putting his imprint on the game with some sturdy running. And there's another penalty against Eastern Suburbs. Failure to be back the 5 yards. Patterson is probably the man being spoken to.
This is the situation that Canberra found themselves against East in the first semi-final. Every time they scored a try, they allowed Eastern Suburbs to crawl back into the game. They've just got to shut them out prior to the half-time break here. They're going to have a ton of confidence in attack when they turn around in the second half with the breeze at their backs, and they're having all sorts of problems or creating all sorts of trouble for East, both out wide and around the rucks.
Canberra, midway between the Eastern Suburbs quarter and halfway, out to O'Sullivan. Ashley Gilbert making ground every time he runs. Out to O'Sullivan. Henjak. Meninga slips a tackle. Going well, showed the ball, ran with it. Oh, he's just given Morris a nice old don't argue there and knocked him away. Out to Corkery. Plenty of pressure now for Eastern Suburbs as the last tackle comes up. Henjak goes for the bomb. It's going to land in the field of play. And Eastern Suburbs come up with possession. And that was Gary Worth, only about a metre out from his line. Jackson tackles him.
And in only the space of 2 or 3 minutes now, if there were any critics at all of Don Ferner and Wayne Bannett for playing Mal Meninga, they've all been dispelled. He's come up with a try, and he is creating plenty of trouble out wide, and really that must be heartening for the man that took that selection trouble on, Don Ferner.
Regan's just had the, Coyne's just been penalised for stealing the ball after a tackle had been called. So Eastern Suburbs will now breathe a deep sigh of relief and get themselves away from their quarter. 7 minutes to go to the half-time break. Smith to take the kick. That's well and surely over the sideline. 10 metres out. Simpkins onto Shepherd. Got a pass away as he was falling to Spina. Now Patterson goes for a run from dummy half. McGann. Brendan Hall's found a gap right up the middle, looks back on the inside, it's to Tony Melrose. Will he get the pace? Yes, he's got the pace, it's a try, and a good one to Tony Melrose, backed up beautifully. The play was made by Brendan Hall, who broke the Canberra defence midfield, sprinted into the clear and left the pass to Melrose. I didn't know whether he had the pace, you see for yourself.
Trade of Eastern Suburbs on the State Bank replay, the variety trying to switch play. A great break by Brendan Hall. Canberra again now guilty of letting Eastern Suburbs to come back. As I mentioned just a moment ago, this is the way the semi-final went. Eastern Suburbs coming back every time that Canberra scored. But a gaping hole right up the middle here. Well, you can't win matches with that sort of defence. Eastern Suburbs are learning that in this first half. Poor defence around the rucks, but great support play by Tony Melrose, just having the pace to outlast Ivan Henjak on that occasion.
Giving David Smith the conversion attempt from virtually 8 metres out from the line and about 7 or 8 metres off centre. Yes, we've just seen Trevor Gilmeister taken from the field. And you've got a replacement, David.
Craig Salvatore is the boy that's on, but that is a cruel blow, losing both their tackling machines, the pocket-sized dynamos. That's how vital that try was to Eastern Suburbs. It came just at the right time. They will struggle without those two in the second half.
Smith's kick is successful. So the score now, Eastern Suburbs 14, Canberra 10. And Arthur Beetson there doing plenty of talking into the telephone. Two tries and 3 goals to the Eastern Suburbs side. Gilmeister, we are informed, has gone only to the head bin. Morris runs from dummy half. Can't find a channel to run in. Worth away to Rampling. Good surging run. Ricocheted off a defender on the quarter line and went again for another 7 or 8 metres. Melrose. Pass to Worth is taken very well. He gets his kick in. It was a late decision. Kinner. Well, the crowd are booing. They deduced that the Eastern Suburbs players were offside there. Out to Henjak. Couldn't run there for his own players. They were coming back onside. Regan, up and down, and pretty heavy stuff right in the middle of the cricket pitch. Ashley Gilbert. Yes, the word on David Truella is...
Well, he's got obviously a severe concussion, but the one I want to speak about, Rex, is the incredible situation for the second week in a row that Gilmeister's gone off into the head bin with his left ankle heavily strapped. We'll come back to it in a moment as Canberra on the attack.
The bomb goes upfield, is taken beautifully by Worth to defuse the situation. He comes up with the ball about 5 metres out from his line. Hall away to McGann. McGann spins out of a tackle but is put down finally about 11 metres out.
The situation, Rex, Rampling, you remember last week, lost the boot and came off. Now, the responsibility is the Eastern Suburbs club doctor that must verify that there is a head injury. Now, we've seen Gilmeister go off with his left ankle very, very heavily strapped, and it's again a situation of Eastern Suburbs flaunting those rules.
Scrum going down directly in the middle of the field on the quarter. Henjak has it. Awful pass out to Meninga, but he takes it on the first bounce. Tackle by Melrose. Kinner runs sideways. He's not going anywhere that way. He now attempts to use his strength and gets back towards the quarter line. Up the blind side they come again. Out to Coyne. Canberra using the blind side where possible. It's been effective for them. Henjak, O'Sullivan. Gilbert standing very wide. Ashley Gilbert. O'Sullivan. Pinjack. Oh, stopped in his tracks there. A great tackle came in right on top of him. Well, Corkery elected to kick back upfield. That was no way, but there might be something come out of this. It's 6 to go, the referee has said, as Coyne's picked it up. Now here they go. Walters onto Sam Bacco. Bacco charging through. Can't get a pass away. Yes, he does. It's gone to ground. No, it's going to be 6 to go again, the referee says. It's knocked down onto Jackson. Jackson trying to use his strength to get there, but there's no way. He's about a metre short. Eastern Suburbs on the rack at the moment. Oh, Coyne came too shallow. He's got the ball down. He stood only about a metre off the ruck as he came to that, a metre back, I should say, and he swiveled and gone over the line and scored a try, and referee Stone quickly had to acknowledge it. See it again.
Again, another case where nothing was on. Plenty of Eastern Suburbs defence there in numbers. They just took the tackle and they've helped him across the try line. He just turned and swiveled. Good play there from Canberra in just turning in that situation, but really they had the numbers, and this is incredible, the defensive effort put up in this first half by Eastern Suburbs. They've just virtually spun him around onto the line. That's a try for sure, and how easy it was for Coyne.
Well, in this high-scoring match, we've got the points set up at 14 all with about 54 seconds to go to half-time. Belcher will take the kick at goal. He'll be trying to get Canberra a lead to go in at half-time so that they can come out and play with this breeze with a confidence. But they've done everything right in this first half, apart from some defensive lapses which have let them down. They've not been at a disadvantage as far as the wind's concerned. They've played well. They've kept the ball territorially in Eastern Suburbs territory. Belcher, 15 metres in from the sideline. Well, he's just faded that one away again. So the score is 14 all with only about 6 or 5 seconds to go to the half-time break. They won't have time to kick off. Well, there's the hooter in the background. An astonishing game, a game that mistakes trumps for both sides. Defensive errors, but some good tries scored nonetheless. Eastern Suburbs tries have come from Spinner and Melrose. Goals, 3 from 4 to Smith. Canberra tries have come from Gilbert, Meninga and Coyne. The goals are 1 from 3 to Belcher. I'll be back after this with more action in this final. Well, a pretty useful crowd here for this match, and they're sitting in warm sunshine now. The breeze is not abated as far as I'm aware, but we'll check that out with David Fordham. David?
No, the breeze is still blowing. It will favour Canberra in the second half. The score's at 14 all. Interesting, in the Eastern Suburbs camp, David Truella, who went off after taking that very solid knock from Mal Meninga when he scored that vital try, was actually off the field for 10 minutes and 15 seconds prior to half-time. So Trevor Patterson, in fact, will now retain his place at the side. A bad organisational blunder in the Eastern Suburbs camp, with David Truella not being able to resume in this match. Trevor Gilmeister has taken his place back in the Eastern Suburbs second row, and no changes in the Canberra lineup.
OK, the scrums went 5-4 to Canberra. The penalties went 4-3 to Eastern Suburbs. Possession held, Canberra 73 tackles. Eastern Suburbs 59 tackles as the kick-off goes. Oh dear, oh dear. Yes, Sam, that's what you need to do with it. Sam Bacco attempted to catch the ball from the kick-off, knocked on, and then tried to pound the ball into the turf. Now, if something happens from this, he'll need to do 10 years penance somewhere or other. Laurie Spina feeds this scrum. Eastern Suburbs win it. Melrose away to Worth. Worth comes in and around him. They're only about 8 metres out. Hall. McGann. About 3 metres away now. Patterson's gone to dummy half. And are ramping up the blind side. The Canberra defence were ready for that. Spina. Hall. Trying to get his arms free. He's got it free now. It's got it away to Simpkins. Out to Melrose. Melrose throws the dummy. A lob pass over the top, and it's out to Morris, and Morris is in for the try. Oh, gee. Sam Bacco won't feel very happy about that. A terrible blunder from the kick-off ends a couple of tackles later with a try in the corner to Morris. See it again.
Same in the first half. Handling mistakes cost Eastern Suburbs badly. One leading to a try for Canberra. Similarly now, Sam Bacco coming up with a major mistake and a sloppy start to the second half for Canberra. But Tony Melrose does exceptionally well here on the replay. He had plenty of cover defence coming across for Canberra. He had to try and keep them and drag them all in, especially the winger, to give Morris that clear run. And he weighted the ball out superbly. Canberra, well, pretty slow to move up there, just running, tending to go across field. Should have cut straight in and put Brendan Hall down. Immediately there, he was allowed to turn and unload. Simpkins started to spin that ball out wide. Melrose, with plenty of room, looking, kept on looking, and a great ball over the top here for Morris and Canberra. Well, they've let Eastern Suburbs come back yet again. But a good ball from Melrose, great hands, and Slippery Morris did well to drag it in.
Well, that's Slippery Morris's 12th try for 87. St George, curiously, didn't seem to want him last year, so he left. He's been an instant success with Eastern Suburbs. David Smith, a metre in from the sideline, a metre out from the quarter. Kicking virtually across the breeze. Crowd goes a bit hushed. And he's hooked it away. It's no goal, so the score then is Eastern Suburbs 18, Canberra 14. The key to that try, of course, was Brendan Hall running, trying to make an intrusion, being tackled by three of them, being able to fight his arm free and give the ball to Simpkins. From there on, so long as they take and give the passes properly, it had to be a try. Now from the kick-off, the ball's gone dead in goal, so it'll be a line dropout by Eastern Suburbs. Yes, we've got Alan Jones down there again. Let's have some words of wisdom from him, David.
Alan, Eastern Suburbs beginning the half as they did in the first half, and it couldn't have come at a better time.
No, they've got a hell of a job ahead of them, though. They've got to keep Bacco and Gilbert and the wind in check. I'm not too sure that they can do that, but they can't defend as badly as they did in the first half. The tackling was bad, but those big men here are going to leave some impact on the game, I would have thought. But they're in front, that's where you've got to be.
The gamble with Mal Meninga already paid off for Canberra.
Yes, unbelievable. And, of course, Bennett would certainly have them oiled up in the second half, so Canberra no way near being out of it.
Coyne onto Lance. Coyne broke a tackle, got to his feet quickly, passed the ball to Lance. They're only about 15 metres out now. Walter's going from dummy half. It's good stuff, too, and he's only about 1.5 metres away, directly underneath the posts. Quick play the ball here. Well, he can't get to his feet quickly. He's very, very laborious. Look at Slippery Morris out on the right here. He's yards offside. He was 15 or 20 metres offside there. He's still going up offside, so that should be a penalty to Canberra, but the referee has missed it. Ashley Gilbert out to Regan. Regan away there to Kinner. Kinner back on the inside to Coyne. Coyne's going strongly and he's going to score his second try. It's a great try to Coyne, backed up beautifully. Oh, this Canberra side can come back, can't they? That's an astonishing bit of football. There's Bennett there. Coach sitting down on the ground still. But see that again, it had the hallmark of the winners.
Great again, football out wide by Regan. A good ball from the front row that's come on as a replacement. And the second row is having an outstanding game for Canberra, Coyne and Gilbert. They keep this ball alive. You don't want to underestimate any of these Canberra forwards. They have all been taught the skills by Wayne Bennett. That's what he was brought to Canberra for, and they know how to turn and unload. And look at the handling and the passing. Dragged it in beautifully, and Gary Coyne says thank you for his second try. East were fooled. They thought that Canberra were going to maintain that play there to the right-hand side, but they changed and varied it out to the left. Kinner did well to keep it alive, and as I said, what a performance Coyne's having and putting in this preliminary final as he picks up his second try.
Tony Rampling, the Eastern Suburbs player who missed the tackle on Coyne, dropped away behind him. So this gives Mal Meninga the opportunity. He's had 5 tries, 31 goals and a field goal for 83 points from the part of the season that he was able to play prior to breaking his arm. Well, the crowd go relatively quiet. About 3 metres in from the sideline. Oh, yes! Mal Meninga, the hero, has kicked the goal. Has he made a comeback? Well, it's an astonishing performance. Canberra 20, Eastern Suburbs 18. Now see this kick again. Over she goes, so sweet and just beautiful. Probably with the wind assistance, but we won't take anything away from it. 20 points to 18. 7 minutes gone. 2 tries have been scored in that space of time.
And this, again, is the problem area for Canberra. This is where they continue to allow sides to come back and counter-attack again. They've got to put their stamp on this game. That goal from Meninga should have really uplifted the team. No mistakes now in their own quarter line. A good kicking game is what's required. They've got to be the next scorers to really dominate and say that this final is ours and a berth in the grand final.
Well, Sullivan, he's very close to being through there. Incidentally, statistically, 11 missed tackles by Eastern Suburbs in the first half to only 3 by Canberra is a fairly significant thing. Oh, beautiful work from Worth. Caught a ball running backwards on his shoulder. Gilmeister coming from the field now. That looks like a leg injury of some description, David.
Yes, I don't think he'll be going to the head bin this time, Rex. Craig Salvatore is the player on at number 23.
23, Craig Salvatore. Eastern Suburbs, you could put an Indian blanket over the lot of them at the moment. They're all in a bunch. There's Salvatore now. He's made a bust and a good one. He's gone about 15 to 20 yards, 25, 30, getting up towards the Canberra quarter line. Now Slippery Morris has injected himself into the line, gets a pass away to Melrose. They run around pass again back to Brendan Hall. It was knocked down, picked up by Mal Meninga, and he surges back towards the halfway line, only about 12 metres from it. Walters, Lance. Everyone gives himself a chance of scoring a try in this match. The defence has been pretty brittle. There's Corkery going through some parlous defence to make a 15-metre intrusion. Sam Bacco holding like grim death to the ball. O'Sullivan. Jackson hurled himself at the opposition there. Last tackle. Mal Meninga, a pass out to the blind side to Corkery. Corkery gets a kick which goes down only about a metre from where he kicked it. And Eastern Suburbs are in possession again through Smith. McGann, Speeder. Shepherd stands in the tackle. Back to Worth, on to Hall, who's done everything right in this match. Been responsible for 2 tries. Laurie Spina runs strongly, taken out of it by Jackson on the halfway line. Simpkins, McGann, Melrose, got a pass away, McGann, Rampling, good running, got a pass away, oh it's gone to Worth and look forward, but we'll see how he goes. The referee's stone was directly in line with it. Worth surged away, he thought he was on the tail end of a try there. Simpkins, Melrose, Morris sighted the line and changed direction and went straight ahead, but got wrapped up in a good tackle there by Regan. On to Shepherd. Back to Shepherd. Oh, the kick has been charged down and there was a slight knock on there, no, a slight offside ruling there. I thought the ball went to an Eastern Suburbs player behind him and ricocheted back into the other Eastern Suburbs player's hand. See it again.
Well, there's no doubt anyway that the original ball to Gary Worth from Tony Rampling was a mile forward. Nick Stone missed that, and it would have been criminal if that try had come up there for Eastern Suburbs.
And Jack will feed the scrum. Well, he's penalised Eastern Suburbs for not packing square on. Hugh McGann having something to say about it.
He was talking to McGann about the lock forward and back rowers there, making sure that they stay involved and in the scrum until the ball comes out.
The penalty has been taken. Ashley Gilbert. Another change to Eastern Suburbs.
Yes, Wayne Chalice is the man coming on to replace Joe Lydon. Rex, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't remember hearing you call Joe Lydon right through that the first 50 or 60 minutes of this match. But Wayne Chalice, who's been under a bit of doubt himself with an Achilles tendon injury, is the man on the left wing for Eastern Suburbs.
Yes, I think I perhaps may have mentioned his name once, but I'm not going to argue with anyone about it. He didn't play much of a part in it. There's a great kick being put downfield. It's found a very good touch, only about 18 metres out from the Eastern Suburbs line.
A great kick it was, and it should be more of that too on early tackles from Canberra. Let's just get right out of their own quarter line and halfway and keep the play down here for the rest of this second half.
Well, Gary Worth injects himself into the line there, trying to find a gap. Patterson. They're just around about the quarter onto Rampling. He's over the top of one tackle, still going, and has dropped the football. Well, Rampling is either hurt or exhausted, one of the two. He's fought his way through that tackle, and that's where the ball was lost. Well, Rampling's still sitting on the ground there beside the scrum. He's going to pack into the lock position. Henjak away to Jackson. Corkery running crossfield. He's made a good intrusion. Oh, he's going to go all the way. It's a joke. He's gone right through the Eastern Suburbs defence from the blindside wing and scored a try, an astonishing try. Really one that was never on. See it again.
Well, you'll virtually see this on the State Bank replay as Canberra celebrate. There's the gap right from the play of the ball. Nobody moved in to cut it off. Trevor Patterson was looking for the defence to come up on the inside from Danny Shepherd, but that wasn't coming. Tony Rampling, still injured in back play there, was hovering back in cover defence, so there was plenty of numbers out of the defensive line. The messages still pouring out from Canberra here, and this is exactly what they had to do. As I said, they had to be the next scorers to try and put some sort of dominance on this game instead of letting this counter-attack to keep on coming from Eastern Suburbs. Corkery was the man, a carpenter from Canberra, that has come up with the goods for the Raiders.
24 points to 18. Melbourne eager to take the kick from 10 metres out and about 10 metres off centre. The breeze blowing slightly across him. He just wants to kick it firmly, as straight as he can. That'll do the job. Oh, yes, he's just made it, by heavens. That was a close thing, and he's having a joke with Big Stone about it. 26 points to 18. Canberra lead, and Corkery 14 tries in 87. Yes, we've got a player warming up there. I believe it's Rowan Brennan. Is that right, David?
Yes, it is at number 22. He's coming on to replace Terry Regan, who's done an outstanding job as a replacement forward of this Canberra side. But obviously he's been a bit short of match practice with the lower grades from Canberra being out of reckoning in the semi-finals. But what a sterling job he's done as a replacement forward for the old seasoned warhorse Terry Regan.
Okay, so he's going to come on at number 22. Canterbury in Canberra in possession just around about their own quarter. There's the man that's going to be replaced, Regan. It's Eastern Suburbs being penalised for inside the 5. Do I see Horry Hastings going out there for Eastern Suburbs?
You certainly do. I don't know whether it's because he let that try in Rampling of Eastern Suburbs or the fact that he went down injured before that last scrum, but Horry Hastings is on to replace Rampling in the Eastern Suburbs lineup.
Well, that's an astonishing thing for Horry. He's had a miserable season one way and another. Anyway, he's back in the side now as Canberra come back with a rush. Here's Regan still pounding forward. He hasn't been replaced yet. Sam Bacco tearing his way through the ruck. Got a pass away to Walters. Walters was close handy to him, and he's been decked only about a metre out from the line. Look at Morris out on the right. Look at Morris. He's yards offside. He's being ignored by the referee. Onto O'Sullivan. He's been offside since the Canberra started attacking 10 or 12 minutes ago. O'Sullivan. Well, the ball's gone free from Jackson. He was trying to offload it and keep it alive. I think they're trying to desperately run Eastern Suburbs ragged at the moment. Hastings at dummy half. McGann. Spina. Great tackle. There's Dean Lance putting an imprint on Spina. See it. And over the sideline he goes. That's David Smith's been taken over the sideline on the quarter. Now, the referee is talking to Morris now. He's waving to him to come over. Now, he can sin bin Morris for persistent infringements or send him from the field. And he's been offside, I promise you, for 5 of the last 10 minutes. Well, I hope that's sufficient. Now we've got a touch judge in. Now, I don't know quite what this is about. Have we got an extra player on the field?
No, Kevin Walters is finally replacing Mal Meninga. And listen to the crowd for a job well done. The gamble has paid off for the Canberra Raiders. Big Mal Meninga coming off the ground.
Well, it has, but there's still 22 minutes to go, so we've got to take our care with our selections here. Canberra are all up winners the way they're going, but let's not second guess it. Out to Henjack from that lost ball there, onto Walters. There's Terry Regan still powering forward. He doesn't really know how to slow down, this fella. Just as soon as we get this attack out of the way, Henjack onto Walters. Walters back to Henjack. Henjack gets it away to Jackson. Jackson's in for a try. Right underneath the posts. Right underneath the posts, yes. Well, what do you do with this side that have got the great ability to move the ball around? There's been no fluke about their performance lately. They've come up with 5 tries. See this one.
And on the State Bank replay, they just keep this alive. What a great performance now in the second half. They're just Kevin Walters keeping the ball alive. Back inside it goes Peter Jackson, and just watch the elation here. He was confident. He was just going to charge it over, and this is the try that has brought a big smile to the face of Mal Meninga.
Mal, all smiles. Great effort by Canberra.
Well, we're going well so far, David. Still 20 minutes to go, but I got full confidence in the boys to keep on going.
You feel all right? You look all right?
I feel real good.
Well, the possibility now, Mal, of playing in your first ever Sydney Grand Final, the gamble's paid off.
Oh, it's tremendous. Yeah, I no injuries at this stage, so I'll be playing definitely next week if we make it.
Well, a great try. The extra poundage you're carrying probably helped.
I'd say so, David, yeah.
Will you go and enjoy a well-earned shout? Tremendous comeback.
Thanks very much, Dave.
Yes, the man's a hero. Jackson was the scorer of the last try. Belcher's going to attempt the goal from directly in front, 11 metres out. He's kicked the goal. So 6 tries and 4 goals. 32 points. Eastern Suburbs, 18. And they'll flag waivers from the Canberra side. Those keen supporters who've come all the way down, who are at the southern end of the ground, directly underneath the scoreboard, are going to be elated tonight. There they are. They're the real supporters, the ones that really let everybody know that they support Canberra. Okay, Canberra's arrived on the scene. It's great stuff. Now, can Eastern Suburbs lift themselves? They've got 20 minutes and 24 seconds. Sam Bacco caught the ball from the kickoff, took it well and brought it out about 17 metres. On to Regan, he's still powering forward. Wallace is at dummy half. There's Dean Lance, the captain, who's been steady at the back, been pulling out some good tackles from time to time. Coyne, one of the success stories in this Canberra side, scorer of 2 tries today. Jackson, away to Belcher. There's a monumental kick gone downfield. Worth stands underneath it well. Oh, and he's picked off beautifully there. That was O'Sullivan that came up with that tackle. Chalice runs from dummy half. Horry Hastings out to McGahn, back inside to Melrose. And to Hall. tackle 10 metres short of the halfway line.
It was always going to be a case of how well Eastern Suburbs backed up after that fairly torrid game against Manly last weekend. Nothing left for them now in the second half except to keep that ball alive. The little men, Steve Morris, Brendan Hall, Laurie Spina, they've all got to stay alive with the ball. They really have got to throw it anywhere and just hope that a break can come up and get them back into the game.
Simpkins tackled, or is that Worth? It's Simpkins out to Hastings. Little kick attempted there, which didn't come off. Oops, Canberra have thrown a pass that's gone astray. And Eastern Suburbs have come up with the ball again, so that's 6 to go. Morris, he knows what's required of him. He's running almost every time from dummy half. On to Hugh McGann, powering forward. 15 metres out from the line. Eastern Suburbs now hot on attack. Hastings, Morris, Spina. Stands in a tackle, gets it to Hastings. Belted to the ground about 8 metres out by O'Sullivan. On to Hall, good cut-out pass to Salvatore. Threw the ball back to the opposition. Who was there to pick it up? Coyne, of course. Everything he's done today has turned to goal. Walters, who must have been desperately disappointed at being left out of the side, would have been elated at Meninga's form, but he's probably just as elated to get on the paddock himself. Number 7. About 7 metres outside the Canberra quarter. Jackson's belted the ball downfield. It's gone right over Worth's head, taking him back 10 metres from his goal line. He's got some defenders there. There's one of them, O'Sullivan. He's like a shearer's dog, rounding up sheep. Beautiful. Slippery Morris taken away. He's aware that the blind side is sometimes unpopulated when the ball's kicked downfield. Chalice comes away with a good, vigorous run right up the middle of the pack. Hastings. Simpkins driven sideways by Coyne, who's having a magic day. Spina kicks ahead. It's too far. Taken by Belcher. Belcher gets ankle tapped by him, though. Gets a pass away out there to Walters. Walters, oh, he's got a pass away. It's been intercepted by Morris. Given away there to Patterson. Patterson back inside to Chalice. Chalice steps his man and is taken over the sideline. Yes, what are the Manly boys thinking at the moment? I wonder whether they see anything here that they've got to really worry about. I suggest that this Canberra side, the way they're going, could worry anybody. This is magic football they're putting on here. The crowd are fairly quiet watching it. I think some of it in awe. 32 points to 18. Yes, we've had a replacement, David.
Yeah, that finally has taken place. Rowan Brennan in number 22 on for Terry Regan. He's also performed admirably for this Canberra side.
Regan almost had to be forcibly ejected from the field.
Horry Hastings is also coming off, and we've got Rampling back on the field for Eastern Suburbs.
O'Sullivan very close to being through. They look a bit threadbare on the edge of the ruck, Eastern Suburbs at the moment. On to Corkery. And to Brennan, who's having his first touch of the football. Walters on a Coyne. 10 metres from the halfway line. Dropped that football. The referee should do something about that. Well, he's seen it now and he's made a move and he's going to put down a scrum. We can't have Rafferty's rules.
A little bit untidy the play from Canberra. We've still got nearly 16 minutes left in this game. Here he is just about to drop the ball there, so they can't go to sleep with the fact that they still have this breeze and they should be kicking on early tackles.
Milrose trying to knock one of the defenders out of the way there. He's taken a bit of a knock himself, very slowly to his feet. McGann, Salvatore, Corkery all over the top of him. On to Morris, Worth. Tackled by Rowan Brennan. And Corkery, a player being treated in the background there. Spina, Shepherd. Still about 10 metres out. Yeah, Tony Milrose still hasn't recovered from that heavy knock he took when he was carrying the football there a few moments ago, and the trainer's indicating a stretcher. Spina puts a high kick up. Corkery takes it. He's got a bit of room to move here. goes up the middle of the field and out beyond the quarter line by 4 metres. Now we're going to have Melrose treated here, and I think that all the players will be pretty happy about having a stoppage of play. Melrose got up hopping very badly. I don't know whether we've captured that impact that he took, but it certainly was a heavy blow he took. Section of the good crowd here at the Sydney Cricket Ground. Here's Bennett, one of the coaches. And I guess that Eastern Suburbs supporters at this stage, with 14 minutes to go, would be fairly disillusioned.
And also worrying about the replacement for Tony Melrose, David.
It's Gary Prove. Gary Prove's the player coming on from Melrose. He's coming off of the stretcher. Big Glenn Lazarus is warming up on the touchline too. I wouldn't be surprised if he replaces Sam Bacco, who's been struggling with that virus.
Well, he's being wheeled from the field now. There he is. Good round of applause. And we're back with the action. Gary Prome takes his place. Rowan Brennan surges forward. Walters. Ashley Gilbert. Very strong player. What a good duo Coyne and Gilbert are in the second row. Brennan. Back to Jackson. Kicks downfield. First bouncer goes to Worth. Worth's made a bit of an inroad. Finally picked off there by Henjack. Morris. Hall. Prome. 10 metres from the halfway line. 32 points to 18. 13 minutes and 49 seconds still to go. On to David Smith. Jackson finally put his centre parter down, not before he'd made a good inroad. Patterson. Shepherd. Quick hands out to Simpkins. Brendan Hall. Spina. Canberra defence is okay. Shepherd. Well, he was going to release that ball, but he was spun round on the tackle. McGahn. Worth kicks at the end of it. Ball will go into the Canberra in-goal area. Belcher fields it. Brings it out, evades Salvatore. Gets it to Corkery. Corkery's through 2 tackles, all very close to being through the Morris tackle. Rowan Brennan. Lost his knickers. Coyne. About 8 metres from the halfway line. Ashley Gilbert onto Bacco. Big Sam just having a bit of trouble keeping going at the moment. He's put in a strong performance. That kick is well weighted. Goes into the in-goal area. Worth's hemmed in against his sideline. Good defence there by Walters and O'Sullivan. Challis trying to push his way out with sheer brute strength. Out to McGahn. Out to Smith. Smith trying to run round his man. Corkery gets him just over the quarter line. Well, Morris came midfield there, threw a loose pass out to Prome. Brendan Hall. Very strong young player. Has not done anything wrong this afternoon. Spina. McGahn. Rampling. Smith's run into a gap you could have put a battleship into. He's running upfield. He stepped the fullback. Morris has overrun him. It's a good run. Only about 7 metres from the quarter line. Jackson's going to be penalised for failure to get off the tackle player. Quick tap taken by Morris. Out to Hall. Spina. McGahn. McGahn should have tried to offload that out to the left. He died with possession. Patterson. Only about 15 metres out from Canberra's line. Hall. Shepherd. Turns his back, gets it to Rampling. Rampling goes straight. Tackled only about 5 metres out. It's all Eastern Suburbs at the moment. Simpkins is underneath the post and scores a try, and that's a good one for him. 22 points to 32 points at the moment with a kick at goal from directly in front to go. And 10 minutes, see it again.
So we certainly haven't given up something for their supporters here, a glimmer of hope. 10 minutes to go in this preliminary final, and 10 minutes is a long, long time in a game of rugby league. They're starting to tire, a bit of pressure here applied by Eastern Suburbs. Bad defence again, just ducking under the tackles here. Good play from Stevie Morris, he looked right, then switched left here, and the dummy from Simpkins caught them napping. And Sam Bacco and Dean Lance getting each other's way, but, well, still some sort of time to go in this game, and maybe Eastern Suburbs an outside chance.
Well, David Smith has kicked 3 goals from 5 attempts. This is a simple kick from directly in front, if there's such a thing as a simple kick. Makes no mistake with it. So the score, 32 points to 24. Eastern Suburbs down the tube at the moment, but we have 9 minutes and 43 seconds still to go. Well, Sam Bacco has made a move from the field.
Glenn Lazarus is the man that's come on, the big healthy-looking lad at number 23, but really the pressure now back on Canberra. They've got an 8-point lead, just on 9.5 minutes. They cannot afford to relax if they want to play in their first grand final here next weekend against Manly.
We're waiting the kick-off now. Lazarus is in 23. There's Salvatore coming away with a spirited run out to the quarter. Hall would have been arguably Eastern Suburbs' best player today. Patterson. 8 minutes and 54 seconds to go. Simpkins. Kick over the top. The bounce is good for Belcher. He's found himself in open space. Running well, turns it back on the inside to Walters. Walters gets back beyond the halfway line. Glenn Lazarus. Rowan Brennan. Eastern Suburbs look a bit thin on the left at the moment. Out to O'Sullivan. Some of the players having great difficulty getting back into position at the moment too. They've had a pretty torrid game. A lot of running in it. 10 tries have been scored. Jackson's kick at field goal is unsuccessful. So there'll be a quarter line drop out, a quarter line tap to restart the play. Shepherd takes it. He gets the predictable 6 metres. Simpkins onto Worth. He's submerged. McGahn running from dummy half. Stands in a tackle. Good one too to Patterson. Back slam. Around about the halfway line. Spina finds a little bit of a track to run there and makes a good 10 metres. Simpkins onto Morris. And the last tackle coming up for Eastern Suburbs is McGahn. It's gone to Salvatore, the kick ahead. Belcher takes it, and it's taken by Salvatore in a good tackle.
So when those chips are being put in, well, they're being only put in for the man himself. You've got to let know the runners both inside and out if the chip kick is on. They've been far too deep and playing easily into the hands of Gary Belcher. But Canberra can't afford to go to sleep. Still nearly 7 minutes to go. Just got to steadily work this player around and give an option of 2 kickers. Eastern Suburbs will try and chase and harass the kicker from the marker area. So if Jackson's got to drop back, he's also got to drop back in tandem with Gary Belcher, so there's an option there.
Back to Jackson. He's elected to run instead of kick. Gets to his feet and plays it. Back to Walters. And there's the kick being put in by Belcher. It looks like it's going to be a beauty. Yes, it does. Way over the halfway line, midway between the quarter and the halfway.
And a great kick from Belcher. A bit of experience coming out there. He's played in some big games, especially those state of origin clashes, and a cool head there. The defence was coming down on him, and it was needed to relieve the pressure.
Now, Eastern Suburbs will have to gird their loins and lift themselves with 5 minutes and 50 seconds to go. They've got to score twice. Spinner. Hall, cut out pass to Smith. Onto Gary Prome. He's taking on Jackson a fair bit, but Jackson's a pretty strong defender. A mauling type of defender. Morris. Worth. He had Chalice on the outside there. Now Eastern Suburbs nice and deeply lined out. Patterson backs his way towards the opposition. He's tackled around about the halfway line. Shepherd, I'm full of admiration for the workload this fella's got. He's made an error there, but nonetheless it's been a very good performance by him. Onto Corkery. Corkery up the blind side. Evades the rampling tackle. He's evaded 2 tackles, 3 tackles. He's getting to his feet and going again. Gets a pass away there to Henjack. Henjack can't go through the tackle of Simpkins, who's tackling 15 metres out from the line. Onto Waters. Waters there to Lazarus, the big healthy looking lad, as you said, David. Yes, he's clean and tidy. O'Sullivan. Belcher, the ball's gone on the bounce to him. Ashley Gilbert had to fall on that one. Still around about the Eastern Suburbs quarter line. We're inside the last 5 minutes. We'll be keeping you in touch with how much to go. Well, there's an intercept being taken by Gary Prome. Possession back in his team's favour. McGann. Back to Spina. Back inside to Simpkins. He got a pass away, but I think it's gone forward. The referee says yes, and that's Brendan Hall getting a little bit temperamental at the moment, smashing the ball into the ground. It looks very much like now, with only about 4 minutes to go, as though Canberra and Manly will be the 1987 grand finalists. Yes, Manly pondering their fate. It's something that they're going to have to live with next week. Well, that ball came spurting out the back there. It was obviously stolen from a player. This probably is one of the last scrums of the match. 32 points to 24. Well, the referee allowed that ball to go straight through the scrum and said play on. Gary Prome makes a good break. He's got space in front of him, looking on the outside, gets it to Morris. Morris steps, goes back on the inside. He's run into the cover defence, which was coming across, streaming across. All the Canberra players are very attentive to the fact that they've got a problem here. They've all come back on side. Now Eastern Suburbs can extend it by going out behind them. Salvatore's busted a tackle. He's busted 2. And Keener's there and gets him in a touch just about a metre before the line. Oh, yeah, close stuff.
Well, it's a tired Canberra here. A great run from Salvatore, but the cover defence is just here. Kinner coming across, just making him step across the line. There's his foot going out over the sideline, but Canberra can't afford it. This is going to be the way they're going to play the 87 grand final. A team like Manly will absolutely murder them out wide if they allow them so much latitude when they've got the ball.
A couple of minutes to go in this match. Canberra have come up with possession through Henjack from the last scrum. McGann is the tackler there on Belcher. A very weary bunch of 26 players out there at the moment. Absolutely exhausted they are. There's been so much pace in this game. Lazarus coming away with a good surge. About a minute and a bit to go. Lazarus, through absolutely leg-weary defence, made 15 metres with the greatest of ease. He's a fresh replacement. Jackson, back to Belcher. Worth is coming to it. Morris gets there first. Morris has kicked ahead. He's got pace, this fella. He might get a bounce. He's kicked it again. The referee says play on as Spina falls on it. He's only about 30 metres out from the line. On to Brendan Hall. Shepherd. McGann. Again, trying to search out wide to get that pass away, but I think the ball's been stolen from him, and that probably is going to be the section. Gary Belcher's come up with it. $32 points to 24. Looks to me as though that's the end of the section for Eastern Suburbs in 1987. It's been a marvellous year for Canberra. The dual coaches has worked astonishingly well. Walters back to Jackson. Kicks for touch, doesn't find touch, finds Chalice, who gets to the halfway line before he's put down. And there's the hooter. That's the end of the game. And Canberra are in to the 1987 grand final. Full time. Eastern Suburbs have scored the following tries. Spina, Melrose, Morris, Simpkins have scored tries for Eastern Suburbs. Goals, Smith 4 from 6. Gilbert for Canberra. Meninga, Coyne 2, Corkery, Jackson, Belcher 2 goals, Meninga 2 goals. The difference 8 points, 32 to Canberra, 24 to Eastern Suburbs. And it's a welcome to the big time for Canberra. They are now a club that's on the way. They go in against the Manly side next week.